Hey guys, Clay here. We've got Havoc Off-Road's HS2 step for your 15 and up GM crew cab diesel truck. Now I'm going to show you guys how to install this on your truck, so let's get started. So we're on the passenger side of the truck, and the first thing that we're going to need to do is remove this plastic shield from our DEF tank. There's just a couple of 10mm bolts. You've got one in the front, we've got two on the side, and then another one on the rear of the cover. Now you guys are going to have another one of these bolts right here. It removes the same way as this one does, and then we've got one on the rear of the cover. So now on all your other brackets, but these front two on the passenger side, they're just single brackets that bolt up to the inside of the rocker and the pinch weld. Because GM put the DEF tank so close to the inside of this pinch weld, there are two additional brackets that have to go up inside the rocker. Now this is kind of a weird, funky looking bracket, but up inside where you cannot see, there's an actual hole for this tab to fit into. So just orient the bracket like so. So now we're going to feed this bracket up through this little space here, and once you fish it down, you'll feel that there's a little tab in there that'll slip inside the hole in the rocker, and then the bracket is securely in place. Okay, there you go. So now when you pull down on it, you can already feel that the bracket's going to stay there. So that's what you're trying to do, is just feed this down, and as soon as it fits into that little pocket, you're done. So now we need to put the second bracket on, and it's going to go towards the back of the DEF tank. Now this one's got an oval slot and is going to come with the 13mm hardware because there is a U-nut already inside the rocker from the factory. So we can actually bolt this one into place. You can't get a camera up there and really show you, but it's going to fit in the same way that this one does. And then we're going to put this hardware into the inside of the rocker, and this will swing down over the pinch weld, and then we can mount our HS2 straight to that bracket. So now what we're going to need to do is go ahead and get our hardware, because the board is going to get installed next. On both of these brackets on the DEF tank, there are nuts welded to the top of that bracket. So there's a larger 16mm bolt that once we put the board in place will attach right up like so. And then there's a 13mm bolt, two washers and locking nut that is going to attach that bracket from the HS2 right to that bracket. So we're going to go ahead and get our board and move on with the installation. So now this is definitely easier with a friend. I've got a buddy that's going to hold the bar in the front up in position, and I'm just going to, you've got some black hardware, make sure you got a washer in there. There's a U-nut and the pinch weld, so we're just going to get this hardware in place. And you've got some zinc hardware, so we're going to make sure we have a washer and a lock washer. So now that we've got this hardware in place, the board should stay right where it is, and we're going to move up to the two brackets that are on the DEF tank. So now we're on that second bracket at the rear of the DEF tank, and we're going to repeat that process. We've got our bolt and our washer. Put that through the side bracket, make sure we install our washer on the other side with the locking nut, and then we'll install our 17mm bolt that goes up to this other bracket. And make sure we have a washer and a lock washer on that. So now we're just going to tighten all our hardware. I'm going to start with the 16mm bolt that goes up to the bracket on the inside of the rocker. Because what that's going to do is draw the board up where it needs to be to the pinch weld. So now we'll tighten up this hardware on the side. So we're going to tighten up this second bracket to the pinch well, just like we did the first one. And we'll tighten up our 13mm hardware on the side. So now we're just going to alternate between this hardware, snug it up on the rocker panel. That's going to align the board. Then we'll snug it up on the pinch weld. The brackets really should align everything. Let's just make sure you're not binding one attaching point against another. Now we'll just put the def tank cover back where it was. Reinstall the hardware. So now we can go ahead and install the driver's side. It's a little bit easier than the passenger side. It's got 4 brackets on it as well. They're going to mount to the inside of the rocker panel and the pinch weld, but all 4 of those brackets mount like the rear 2 brackets did on this side. Well, there you go, guys. It's a relatively easy install. Now this kit's going to include all of the hardware and instructions. If you guys have any questions at all, make sure to give us a call or visit us online. Thanks.